Hey guys, here's 5 more tips to help you learn how to pull off some of the sweetest and most stylish combos possible. I understand that my recent highlights all kind of blend together because it's pretty difficult to figure out what I'm doing given that I'm doing like 50 different things and moving all over the place. Naturally, it'd be nice to develop an understanding of what I'm doing and to be able to get to that level ASAP, but that's going to lead me into the first tip. Tip number 1, start slow. You don't need me to tell you that Nioh is insanely complex, from the gear, to the enemies, to the soul cores, to God knows what else, and it's very overwhelming. That's why it's important for you to find a comfort zone first. If there's a weapon or soul core you find makes the game easier for you, then use that until you're ready to add something new. I personally rely upon 3 things when I'm pretty burnt out. I'll use the sword and the split staff, and then I'll just pretty much use Ippon Datura to stagger the enemy. Remember, the objective is to have an enjoyable time, so do what's enjoyable for you. It's okay to use this comfort zone, just again, start slow. Tip number 2, customize your skills. When you're ready to leave your comfort zone, try messing around in the skill customizations tab. Try out various skills that feel weird, like Divine Retribution instead of, say, Empty Retribution. This will help you expand upon your creativity, and plus, it feels nice to find a use for otherwise weird, off-putting abilities. That's why I've made it a point to use the Axe Flash attack in conjunction with the Hatchet's active skill, Eagle's Shadow. Aside from just trying out new abilities, don't neglect the arcanas. You have many options to modify specific active skills, which again enable interesting new combat options. For example, I like to use Masterful Slice on key damaging abilities to get even more key damage, like Shin Crusher. Shin Crusher one's pretty crazy, put Masterful Slice on it and then you get even more key damage. Or if you want to have Pocket Confusion, you can put a variety of the elemental arcanas so you can apply confusion that much more often. Tip number 3, build your character to consume less ki. Arcanas consume ki, and you're already likely struggling managing your ki at this point. So how can you build your character for stylish play? Fortunately, the process gets easier as you ascend difficulties, but for starters, it greatly helps to be in at least B agility. A agility is what I'm using and it's awesome, but if you can manage to get AA agility, it's like the premium for doing any combo-based play. Otherwise, you can stack a bunch of ki consumption reduction effects on your weapons, and if you're lucky, you can get a start stat on your gear. Corrupted weapons have a ki steal property, which rewards aggression. Purity weapons can ki pulse on block, and that presents interesting options for weapons with abilities on ki pulse like spear or taunt blow or fists. As for ultimate stats, ultimate heart and ultimate courage make a massive difference in managing your ki. Tip number 4. Build your character to generate more anima. We will be using soul cores very frequently, so we want to have as much anima as possible. Ideally, you'd want to have a variety of anima related bonuses on your soul cores. Stack as many different ones as possible. While getting the best combinations for you will take time, there's at least one specific special effect you want to have on at least one core per guardian spirit, and that is Yokai Ability Ki Pulse. Why is this so awesome? If you take a look in the Shiftling tree, you'll see that you gain anima when you purify a yokai realm via a perfect ki pulse. The same goes for using a yokai ability while in a yokai realm. Now with yokai ability ki pulse, you can combine both of these benefits together to get a big chunk of anima back. So for example, when I use the Aberrant Soldier Soul Core, I spend 3 anima, and if I use it in the yokai realm, while getting a perfect ki pulse off, I'll basically get at least 2 back, so it's really inexpensive. Oh yeah, make sure you get Dragon's Echo 3 so you don't consume as much anima. Alternatively, if you don't want to worry about anima generation or management whatsoever, you can use some combination or some parts of Saruta Hiko's Grace to get Blood of the Yokai, and then there's Magatsui's Grace, which has a ton of anima charge for corrupted weapons. They are superb. Last but not least, and this is pretty crazy, so tip number 5, use 6 different cores. Make sure each of them has a distinct purpose, and this is admittedly very difficult, and I'm presently working on managing this alongside 2 different Guardian Spirit types and like 55 different weapon combinations, and this kind of harkens back to the whole take it slow thing. But my advice would be first to figure out which cores you like and why. So let me give you a breakdown of my current core setup. I like to use Magatsu Warrior for two main purposes. One, it generates a ton of Amrita that I can absorb to gain health back, courtesy of life recovery on Amrita absorption. And then on top of that, it does a whopping amount of max ki damage when doing the second tier version of it. Next is Aberrant Soldier, which orients me towards my target and is my de facto quick cancel core. Ippon Datra avoids many attacks, is quite fast, and has a stagger property. I recently added Ongyoki as my near instant iframe core. Juten Doji is for pocket buffs and pocket fire application. It's also really fast with a ton of range. Last, and I can't believe I've actually made this a thing, I'm using the Scampus core. It used to be Harinobo, but both of them have the same role function. But anyway, it's Scampus, and why? Well, believe it or not, it's actually a pretty fast gap closer and has very, very short recovery frames. Plus, it's the Scampus. Can anything be more troll than using that? Overall, though, I like using fast cores as that suits my style of play, but there are many, many other options you can use. For example, instead of Aberrant Soldier, you could use the Onibi Soul cores if that's something you want. And you should absolutely experiment to see what fits you best. Believe it or not, I actually contemplated using Nightmare Bringer for the super cool factor, but I just couldn't resist the Scampus. Bottom line, discover what you like and what works best for you. Have fun with the process. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you find these tips helpful, and I'll see you guys next time.